Well, Hurricane Helene is official, Category 1 as of this morning, and it's expected to rapidly intensify to a major hurricane by early tomorrow as it approaches Florida's Big Bend. Landfall still expected tomorrow evening for the Big Bend of Florida. Currently, it's just northeast of Cozumel, Mexico. It did strengthen to a Category 1 with sustained winds at 80 miles per hour as of this morning, up to a Category 3 strength by tomorrow, and then it should make landfall really right on the cusp of a Category 4 strength storm in the Big Bend of Florida tomorrow evening, and it will be moving quickly, so wind and rain impacts will be spreading inland across Georgia through Friday, and then it will dissipate this weekend in the Tennessee Valley. But rain and wind impacts will be spreading inland throughout Georgia into the Carolinas for Friday, so not only will Florida be seeing big impacts, but those impacts will be pushed into the southeastern part of the country. And we're not going to be seeing any impacts here locally. New Orleans area, southeast Louisiana, south Mississippi, no impacts expected from this. It will be a little breezy tomorrow as it passes by to our east, but we have this upper level trough, this upper level low that will yank Helene to the northeast, pulling it into the Big Bend of Florida tomorrow evening, and then pull it around. It will get sucked into that low pressure and then pushed off to the east going into the weekend. So no direct impacts here at home. This is not our storm, but it is going to be a significant event for Florida. You can see basically the entire state covered in tropical storm warnings, hurricane warnings for the Big Bend of Florida. Those hurricane warnings extending into South Georgia, even tropical storm watches and warnings throughout the rest of Georgia and into South and North Carolina. So the impacts will be really continuing into the Atlanta area going into Friday. It's going to be a huge surge event for the Big Bend of Florida. They're expecting 10 to 15 feet of surge for that Big Bend region in the northwestern coast of Florida down to Cedar Key through Taylor County, Florida, right along that hook of the Big Bend, and then even Tampa Bay, 5 to 8 feet of surge possible. Also, the wind impact for that Big Bend, Tallahassee region, even into South Georgia, the Thomasville area of South Georgia. Sustained winds, again, up to Hurricane 4 strength. We could see winds up to 110 plus miles per hour right along that Big Bend region, even seeing those 75 to 110 mile per hour winds possible for South Georgia into Albany, Georgia. And obviously, the further north you go along I-75, the wind threat does go down, but you're still looking at strong, extensive wind damage possible across the Big Bend into South Georgia with power outages and downed trees. So this will be a big time storm. It's going to be growing in intensity over the next 24 hours. It will be growing in size. And so the west coast of Florida is seeing the big impacts as the system continues to move up the eastern Gulf of Mexico tomorrow. Flooding from this is going to be big too for Georgia and parts of the southern Appalachians, especially the higher terrain in the Tennessee Valley. Some extreme flooding expected for them farther to the north. So rainfall totals with this, anywhere from 8 to 12 inches of rain possible for parts of the Appalachians in the Tennessee Valley, even for North Georgia. Obviously, the Big Bend of Florida clocking in maybe 6 to 9 inches of rain. It's going to be just a huge, unfortunate mess for the southeast getting into tomorrow and into Friday. As for us, we're seeing a cold front come into our part of the Gulf. No impacts of this. We're on the west side of this. The front today, though, will provide some scattered showers and storms like we are seeing right now. We're seeing some showers and storms across the area. We can see some quick little heavy showers, maybe a brief, wind gust within these, but nothing big going on, just some scattered showers and storms today getting into the afternoon and early part of the evening. They're happening now on the North Shore, but they could be area-wide getting into later this afternoon and into the early part of the evening. Tomorrow, we should see that drier air filter in behind that upper low and behind Helene, so we have no rain to worry about, I think, tomorrow. And this whole weekend, we should be trending dry. So no rain in the forecast except for today. But tomorrow, like I mentioned, it will be a little breezy at times. We'll see winds coming in from the north tomorrow, sustained maybe around 15 miles per hour, but gusting up to 30 miles per hour probably tomorrow as we get into the afternoon. And like I mentioned, that drier air coming in, it's going to be less humid tomorrow, and we'll keep the lower humidity around this weekend. So we actually have a quiet and beautiful stretch of weather heading into the weekend.